Get your fucking ass up and work. It seems like nobody wants to work these days.
Another club, plane, next place.
Wouldn't you like to know, weather boy?
I actually did it myself. Yeah. Nice.
I mean, let me ask the audience.
Welcome.
I decided I want to call them both
Yeah, no, I think that's what we talked about.
because it's kind of a they them situation.
Exactly. However you identify, if you consider yourself a Yaplin, if you consider yourself a Yarder,
You can be both.
or both, or you want to switch from day to day.
Yeah,
Everything's okay.
both and.
You are valid.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Good morning, everybody. It's
yeah.
10 o'clock in the morning, which isn't actually that early now that I think about it, but I woke up really early, so
really early is an 8 a.m.
as an 8 a.m.,
Talk that tea.
which to me is ass crack of dawn.
Yeah, actually, this is one of the rare times that you woke up before me because I didn't wake up till like 8:20.
Yeah.
So
No, I was up an atom, as they say. I always thought it was up an atom, like an atom, like a indivisible.
like ATOM.
Yeah, like the fundamental building block of matter.
Okay, that's
Okay.
in the
Which
sense that-
segues
you
into
know
what
what I
we're
mean?
going to be talking about today, which is the universe.
Anyway, yeah, it's been a busy time for us.
Yes, but
This
all
last
good
little bit,
things,
yeah.
at least for me. But I can only speak for myself here.
No, good things for me too. Just busy.
Busy as a little bee.
Being an adult is just wild
When you adult too hard.
when I can never speak into the right part of the microphone.
And
I'm gonna mark it clearly.
You keep saying that,
I
and
know.
yet here I get every single time making a fool of myself.
You're just not a professional yet, and that's
No.
okay.
Yeah, only 6 months in, and I'm still figuring it out.
6 months is crazy.
I know, because we recorded our first one at like the end of January, so we're now at 6 months.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
Time flies.
6 months and like 13 episodes, or no, I think we have 11 episodes out at time of recording. So anyway, yeah, we're kind of, this is another one of those, as you can see, I'm puteless. I have no computer of my own today.
Why did you forget to bring it?
I didn't forget, I kind of just forewent it.
Because you just relied on me.
Yeah. I was like,
Yeah.
you got it.
I do. I have it.
But it's more that like I don't feel the need for it when I don't prepare anything to talk about, because the biggest reason why I have it is to like read off of my notes. But when I have no notes, it's just taking up airspace. It's just breathing our oxygen. So
Yeah. Because it's a living, breathing being. Like
and
that,
if you leave it for 10,000 years, it'll evolve.
it'll evolve into something it'll just fold our clothes.
Actually, no, that's
So-
not the truth.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think you already said this. We're going to be talking about the universe.
We are. That's kind of the main topic. Huge, giant size of the sun disclaimer here. We're not scientists.
Yeah, no shit,
We're not astrophysicists, nor do we claim to know anything about shit, really. We're just two human beings with brains that like to ponder. And we're curious about the scientific process. Do we know? Well, I feel like I know a bit about it because I'm in school to study something about science. So I have to know
I thought you were
a
going to
little
say study space, and I was like,
bit. Just immediately
I didn't
changed
know
my major.
anthropology.
Yeah,
didn't
I'm
know
actually a
anthropology
physics
fucked with
major
that.
now.
And my only credentials are watching space programs. So
Which is a lot more than other people like to say. So
yeah,
we're not completely in the dark, but this is just me saying we are going to say some very incorrect things.
and it's your job if you hear us say something that's just like so vehemently incorrect. The comment section is right there.
I mean,
And, yeah.
Wanna
let me ask
learn.
the
Our
audience.
We were talking about this. A scientific brain is one that's open to change and open to continue to learn. Nothing we're gonna say today is like, oh, we think this and it's just fact, and our minds are never gonna change on it. It's like, you could change my mind on pretty much anything.
heavy on that, sister.
Period.
No, literally. So, and yeah, I was like, I wish I had like an astrophysicist friend to just like call up and be like, hey, we have a question
No,
for you.
literally.
But we don't, so we're gonna be consulting Reddit and Google.
We're
which-
we're a humanities bunch.
Yeah.
So.
Exactly. We like to ponder with our brains, and we like to write things down. We're just sensitive beings at our core, so
Yeah.
not necessarily
So-
rigid in the science.
We're going to be talking about the universe, and we're going to, I'd say, mostly be talking about the fluidity of knowledge that comes with learning about the universe.
Period.
So,
We're gonna put our them and in STEM caps on today, and then we're going to take them off and stomp them on the ground.
curb stomp.
We're gonna curb stomp them, and we're gonna make the universe our B word. So you don't have to censor that.
Leave that one, Wendy.
So
So, yeah. Anyway, what have you been up to these last 2 weeks?
what have I been up to? Well, I to start volunteered at this anthropology
yeah.
conference, which is fun. I was head of the booth of the town that I'm in, of like the visit redacted.
Visit this town.
Visit and insert this town here. And so I just told people like where to go get food, where to go hike, because there were a lot of people from out of town coming to this conference. And so they're like, where should I go eat? What should I do with my family while I'm here?
What did you recommend? Like, what was your top? Moving on.
The park with the rose garden. I recommended La Roquita. I recommend, and as I was going through this entire time, I was like, wow, we have a lot of stuff here that I would like actually recommend to people.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
I didn't really realize, at least in terms of restaurants, I was like, all right, like work, like there's some good food here.
No, literally.
Great,
Yeah.
great gowns.
couldn't tell them to,
beautiful
like,
gowns.
Go to the Peacock and like party
Your
it up.
stomping grounds.
Yeah, my old stomping grounds, literally on the drink spilled floor, sticking like with my shoes sticking to them. But yeah, so that was fun. I met a wonderful lady. Her name is should I say her name? Her name is. She has a name.
And I'm sure it's beautiful.
It's a beautiful name. She was amazing, incredible. We immediately hit it off. She's like in her 70s.
Sparks flying.
Like literally, like I was like, you are in a different life. We would be like besties. Well, I mean, we kind of are already besties, but like she was just very cool. She showed up in the morning on Thursday, and I was just like, hey, good morning. Like, let me know if you have any questions. And we just like talked through the whole day. I helped her set up her booth because she was selling books.
Oh.
Yeah. And a lot of the books, I was like, these are really cool. I almost bought one, but I didn't. But anyway, I ended up taking her to the airport, and she paid me to take her to the airport.
So you're bonded for life.
No, literally.
That's
She was
a
like,
bond that you can't forge
come
synthetically.
like, if you ever come to insert state here, like, I will put you up. Like, you're more than welcome to stay in our home. Like, we have so many rooms for you. Like, think about going to grad school here. Like, sister, maybe, I don't know.
Okay.
And she's like, you don't have to. I understand. Like, if you want to go into anthropology, like, there's schools in Tacoma that you might really like. I was like,
Girl.
my heart, like, it can't take this. We had a lovely conversation about the universe on our way down to, because she was flying out of Eugene.
Oh, yeah.
And we were just talking. She was like, we just bonded on a level that I did not expect. Because, you know, when you're talking to like an older individual and you just kind of have to like placate and, you know, just talk and make.
Where they're not unpleasant, but you're like, this isn't what I would choose to talk about.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, we were just talking like old gal pals. She was such a sweetheart. So shout out to you, girl. You're probably never gonna see this.
Did
but
you wreck her the pod?
I did not.
Wow. Missed opportunity.
No, literally, I should have. I thought about bringing it up, but I was like, "There's no way this woman is gonna."
This would not cross her.
No.
That's how I feel when the people I work for like ask me about it. They're like, And it's also this dual-ended, like, funny scenario where, like, I don't think they're super interested in listening to it, and that's fine because I don't think we're talking about subject matter they care about, but they
Right.
keep doing the, like, oh, I haven't listened to it yet, but how's it going? Oh, I keep meaning to. How's it going?
Right.
I'm like, we talked about Drag Race last week. Like,
Yeah. It's really riveting stuff, actually.
Yeah.
U.S. doctors would love it.
Yeah.
I promise.
so,
Yeah. So that was fun.
so yeah.
And then, I mean, you'll probably talk about it too, but we just got back from vacation. We went to the beach.
I'm going to be putting the air horns right there.
Period. That was essentially an air horn.
An air horn break.
Mm-hmm. We went to the beach. We went to Redacted Town on Redacted Coast in Redacted United States. State.
I think we've talked about being in Oregon. They know that.
I know.
Oh.
It's a bit. Roll with it.
Just follow.
Sorry.
But our Airbnb was on the beach.
Magical.
It was so pretty. It was so Gorgiana. And yeah, I feel like I was talking to you about it, but like 2 days is a great amount of time. But I feel like I just could have stayed there for so much longer.
Yeah.
And just like chilled and like had a grand old time just like being in the house.
And maybe I'm in the minority. That could definitely be true. But like, I think the best length of vacation time is 5 days.
Yes.
Like, because I think that's just long enough. Because then you think about travel, like depending on what it is. But either way, no matter what, like even if your travel's not the whole day, just like counting it is that like you have a travel day, 3, 4, or sorry, bad at math. A travel day, 3 full days to do what you want, and then another travel day where it's like then you feel like, and usually by that 4th and then the day you go home, you're like, I'm kind of ready to be home. Like I'm kind of ready to go back to my routine. Like this was like out of my routine long enough. So.
And this was the first vacation as an adult that I went on in which I had pets to worry about.
Oh.
So we had one of Mara's friends come by.
Oh, nice.
And just like take a little look at them and make sure they were going.
Still breathing?
Still
Nice.
breathing good. You're not dead. Great, amazing. And so, but yeah, that was something that we literally were like leaving and we're like, oh, we should like have someone watch them for a little bit.
No, I feel that so hardcore.
So, but which was, it turned out fine. And they're cats, so it's not like we have to have someone take them out twice a day, and thank God we have dogs. And I'm realizing, maybe this is tangential, but I'm realizing not a dog person.
I
Solidly not a dog person.
like, you say that like you're not a dog person, like you dislike dogs, or
Yes.
like
Do you see how that's incredibly offensive?
that's
Yes,
wild.
I do. That's why I said it.
T.
That's
T.
wild.
T.
Because I can respect the idea of like I don't want a dog. Like that's valid.
Let me phrase it in the sense of dogs are gross. They smell bad. They slobber all over you. They get your bed and your sheets and your floors dirty. They are annoying. They need so much constantly. And I just feel so annoyed when I'm around them.
I can understand why you don't want a relationship right now.
Me?
Clock it.
Because
No,
like,
and that's so funny you say that because I know those two things are related.
I was gonna say, because it's
I
like
know they
you're
are.
not necessarily. I mean, first of all, in a dissimilar way, where I feel like cats can have a bunch of different personalities.
Yeah.
Cats are kind of a unanimous, like what their needs are. Like all cats kind of need the same thing, and obviously you're gonna have outliers, but like most able-bodied, healthy cat is gonna just need the same thing. Whereas dogs, like certain different dog breeds, like need different things. So there's plenty of dog breeds that don't really drool, plenty of dog breeds that don't really shed, like plenty of dog breeds that like necessitate more upkeep. Like we were arguing about brushing dogs' teeth, where it's like some dogs just like don't need it, but then some dogs, the way they act, like you do need to brush their teeth, like you do need to keep their mouth like in a different way. So, but like you're blanketed just like all of them suck. is just like
That is coming from the mind of someone who has major commitment problems.
and that's what I'm going into, is that a dog is so much more commitment and such a bigger, and so this is me, like, I'm not even trying to shit on cats, because like I enjoy cats. I cut to 4 years ago, before I started working in a house that has 2 wonderful cats.
Yeah.
I was like actively afraid of cats. Like
Yeah.
I don't, and like I'm still kind of uneasy around cats I don't know, because they're just like, they are more of a mystery to me. Like
They
I
can
don't
be
like
unpredictable.
I don't like being able to, like, what's the word, predict their next move.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, a cat could be totally chilling and I pet it wrong and it's like, don't fucking touch me.
Because that
Whereas
happens.
a cat or with a dog, it's like you can kind of sense if they don't want to be fucked with
Yeah.
at that moment. Like
Yeah.
if you're like, okay, you're doing your thing. Whereas a cat can just be sitting there and be like, don't fucking touch me. Like,
Yeah.
and again, valid. That I'm not saying that's like a negative for a cat. I just don't like that unpredictability versus, yeah, I am absolutely a dog person. That's just like, I like the idea. And so this is where I'm kind of like wavering, where I'm not, again, not trying to piss off any cat people. I know how y'all like to tussle, but like
Period.
a dog is just so, in my opinion, so much more of a companion because they need you more than a
Yeah.
cat needs you. Like a
Yeah.
cat needs water and a cat needs food and it needs a place to poop and go to the bathroom.
Sure.
But outside of that, it doesn't really need you for anything.
It needs to be social sometimes. Heavy on the sometimes. But you're right in the sense of like, as long as their basic needs are met and they get some socialization every now and again,
Yeah.
they're going to be fine.
On their terms.
Especially on their terms. And sometimes that's not going to be on your terms.
Exactly.
And that's why even sometimes Jasper will be like, just like needing attention. I'm like, dude, like, please. So that's how I know I'm not ready.
Yeah.
I'm not in the mental space to be
Yeah.
liking dogs. And also, dogs are just so loud. I hate barking. Like,
That's valid.
barking is just, I think it's just a overstimulation thing for me. Because, like, if I hear, I've always been like that with loud noises. If there's like a sudden, sharp, loud noise in the, like, just the direct vicinity of where I'm at, like, it's just, it disrupts my homeostasis more than I can, like, ever describe.
Yes.
So when something's like something is just constantly like yipping and barking, and I'm like,
Yeah.
can we sedate this thing, please? Like,
Yeah. So I feel like it just breaks down to I like being needed. Like
Sure.
I like being like, okay, I am your companion. Like I'm your friend
Yeah.
to a dog versus like with a cat, I feel like you could take or leave me. Like you don't really,
no, period.
me is not what you care about. Like
Period.
you care about what I do for you.
A cat is more self-centered,
Exactly.
and a dog is more reliant. And I am quite the opposite of that in that sense.
And so that makes sense. Like it completely matches your personality. Like I guess a better way to say that is that like I completely read that, and you're not just being a hateful person. Because that's the difference of
Yeah.
like there are some cat people that are like, oh, dogs just like don't deserve to be alive. And it's like
Oh.
dogs
in the
don't
sense that,
deserve
no.
to be
You
in
know what I
public
mean?
spaces. And it's
No.
like, no, okay, like in the same way I can respect your affinity for cats, like you need to respect that other people just aren't going to share your opinion.
Yep.
Versus like, yeah, you just have a very like not for me. Like that's not for me.
I think that's why, yeah, when I see a dog, it's the same vibe as when I see a kid. Because when I see a dog, I'm like,
and
I'm
I
like,
love kids, so
hi, like, I'm gonna tap, pet.
tap,
Hello.
tap.
And when I see a kid, I'm like, so we can't talk about the political and economic state of the world right now?
Can we talk
Like,
about like the political
you're
and economic
five?
Were
state of
you
the world
alive
right
for
now?
your 9/11? Yes or no?
yes or no? Answer that question quickly and tell me how you think that impacted globalization and what that means for the world moving forward.
Yeah.
And
So-
if the answer is, I just like Roblox, then I have nothing to say.
No, so valid.
So that's just my take. Anyway, we veered way off of,
But a valid veer.
how was your week? Or 2 weeks?
Busy. Honestly, I feel like something happened last week, but I can't remember what it was. So a few things have happened, because this would have been like last Sunday to now. Thunder won the finals. It's been a joyous occasion in my residence. That's been really fun, very heartwarming.
Period.
Crazy. I was like shooting the shit with you, but like the oldest person on that team is 28 years old.
Give me
Like
a break.
they're all just college aged kids that just won the NBA for the year. Like
That's actually crazy.
and one of them literally had never drinking alcohol before.
Mormon?
No, it was more of just like, I mean, professional athletes are like kind of weird where like, yeah, you're just like, oh, I want to keep my body in. And so that to say, I believe this guy is 22. So it would have been like he's been able to drink, but like has been in the NBA since he was 21. So like,
He just doesn't.
I don't know,
wanna
maybe
do
he's
it.
23 because like I think he was drafted a few years ago. So like, yeah, he'd be 23 or 24 maybe. But like he's been in the NBA since he's been 21. So probably just like a, you know, that kind of thing.
Sure.
But the other thing that's really funny is that like they're all just young. Like they needed to be shown how to pop champagne.
2 shots of vodka.
Wow.
So funny, so funny. And I know Taylor's gonna cringe when I have no idea how old Jalen Williams is, but like, yeah.
You don't know how old Jalen Williams is? The fuck? Okay.
But yeah, so that was very funny, very very heartwarming. Let's see, we're getting a fact check here.
He's 24.
Okay, yeah, so that makes sense because he was drafted a few years ago. But yeah, crazy. Their like star player is our age. He's 26, which is just like wild.
We're exactly where we need to be in our lives, you know, and that's okay.
So that was Sunday, and then one of the kids that I nanny for turned 5 years old.
Happy birthday.
And it's just wild because I've known her since she was 1. And so it's just like mind blowing of like, and there's just something about it because then I saw her yesterday too. There's just an air about her that I know I'm sure is like in my own head, but
Yeah.
like I'm just like, you're so old now. Like she's just so
She
grown
has
up.
an individuality now.
And it's just, yeah, so crazy. The boy is about to be 3, which I've been around since like before he was even a thought. So it's just like time. And maybe I've mentioned this before. I know I probably said this to you personally, but I don't know if I've said this here. But like witnessing the passage of time through children is so wild.
I believe the children
That
are
is the
our
one
future.
thing about kids that I'm like, that is really cool.
It like rewires your brain to be like me. So like, yeah, I started with them when I was 22, and for me from 22 to 26, like I've changed. Like I know I have changed,
Sure.
but the ways I've changed are just so infinitesimal to the way that like you go from not existing to now like walking, talking, able to advocate for yourself, able to like do whatever that you're like, oh, like I'm not trying to sit here saying 3-year-old is like grown by any means, but like you are an autonomous human being.
Yeah.
And when
You
I
have a personality.
started here, you just like weren't there.
Yeah.
And so it's like, oh, so like I've changed, but the change that happens through childhood is just a whole different ball game to like maturing, because I
Yeah.
guess that's a better way to articulate it, where it's like I've changed in the way of like I've matured, but I haven't like changed. Like I'm
Yeah.
still the same person I was
Yeah.
at 22. I've just matured,
Yeah.
versus the literal metamorphosis of
Like hitting developmental milestones.
being just. And so another funny thing is they have a cousin that's only 3 months old.
Okay.
And so like seeing that 3-month-old and like looking at him and being like, you all started as this. Like,
Yeah.
we all started as this.
Yeah.
Like it just really hones it back, and it like makes me rethink of like, also, yeah, who was I when I was 5 years old? Like I mean, like I would say pre-5 is like, that's kind of hard, but it's like I have memories from like kindergarten. So it's
Yeah.
like realizing that the 5-year-old's brain is like starting to congeal in the way that it's
Yeah.
like she's gonna carry this stuff.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's wild. So that was Wednesday, and then Wednesday night, went to the casino. First time I've ever
Yes.
gambled. Lost $60, but gained an experience, so that's nice.
And that's
that was
all
fun.
that matters.
And I love the beach. Like, it's just the best. I can't.
Let's go to the beach.
Nicki Minaj.
Nicki Minaj.
And so, it's just always a very cathartic experience. Having the windows open and being close enough to the ocean, like having the windows open, just like hearing the waves.
Me putting on my ocean white noise, being like, oh, this is where that comes from. Not having to do
Literally me last night. I literally, because like I have one of those machines that like you can like pick from like a list of different like white noise.
Yeah.
And it's just like water, fire, rain, ocean, birds, crickets, like, and I just like immediately put on the ocean waves, and I was like, this is nice. Not the
It's not the real
same.
thing. Did you know you
Not
can
the
do that
same.
on your iPhone?
No, I have a little machine.
I know, but do you know you can do that on your iPhone?
I already have it different. I use 2 sound machines. I have a sound machine, and then I use one on my phone too. That one's just a steady ticking.
Do you, like, it's an app?
Yeah.
Do you know it's like built into the iPhone's like software? Like you can like pull it up on your thing, and it has like a bunch of different white noises.
In what?
I'll show you. The ear thing, background sounds, ocean, rain, stream, night.
Does it have a ticking?
I don't think so. So maybe it wouldn't be for you.
No, because I have a machine that pretty much has like all those on it. But
You like, first of all, that's serial killer behavior. Listening to ticking as you're falling asleep.
What the fuck is
That
going
is
on in
crazy.
here on this
It's-
day?
honestly, it's less of like I enjoy this sound and more of like it's a useful tool I need, because it takes me like a minimum hour to get to sleep from the time that like my head hits the pillow. So like I need something that's like grounding that I can just like count.
Sure.
And so actually it's
So it's like counting sheep, but like
physical, yeah. If it makes you feel any better, it's a metronome.
okay.
So it's like kind of a woodier like.
It makes me feel better in the sense of like metronome I can conceptualize,
Mhm.
but I think my ear is just so fucked up from like all of my music lessons that if I like listen to anything with a faint semblance of a rhythm,
You're
my
like waiting for.
my brain is like
The drop.
just locked in, and I'm like, oh, this is a song.
Yeah, no, I can understand that. I'm not trying to say this is normal. I
Yeah.
just really like a good ticking sound to go to sleep to. Anyway,
Sure.
that was so got back from the beach yesterday, and then went right to work, and then also I made it home like just in time. Like I made it home in time to like drop my stuff off and then go to
And
work.
then immediately leave. Great. That's good.
And then today I'm gonna leave this residence after we finish recording, get my oil changed, and then drive up to the Seattle area to visit my friends for the weekend.
Hey, friends. Oh,
Michaela and
your
Gavin.
friends? Your friends.
Our friends.
Right.
Michaela
Right.
and Gavin.
Hey, girlies. Miss you.
We'll get them on the pod at some point.
No, we will. We were just talking about having a guests at some point.
Yeah,
So,
we'll definitely start having guests soon. We've been talking about it since the inception of this podcast, but
Yeah.
we just are now in the phase of like trying to figure out how that would work, because not everyone could like come to this residence. We'll have to figure out a way to do like remote calls and stuff. But anyway, blah 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 blah. That's me. Like it's just been a busy week. Like today's been a busy week for us. So
it has been, and I am finally like after today I have a therapy appointment, and that's like then I'm like I don't have anything to do for the next like couple weeks. So I'm just I'm going to be editing. I'm going to be locking in. Downloaded Roller Coaster Tycoon, which gets into my media spotlight because I really want to start playing that game again. Found out can't play it on the Mac because I got it on Steam, and so it's like only available for Windows. So you have to like go to this like rct2open.io and it's like you can download these files, but then you have to like alter your Mac security settings, and I'm like, I don't really want to do all of that.
Yeah.
So I've been looking at and I was thinking about doing this anyway, but I was looking at just like buying and I'm not sure if I want to just buy a prefab or if I want to build my own, but getting a PC so I can start that process.
You should.
But it's like $1,000.
Yeah. Or under. You could probably do it for less than especially for like if you are literally just getting it to play games, because that's the way Taylor posed it to me when we were building mine, and like I can't remember like what things inside the computer he was specifically talking about, but there's some things that like you can get the like most powerful, most memory, most workhorse of the stuff, but if you're only planning to do like old PC games, if you're only planning to do like stuff that isn't gonna take a lot of juice from your computer, like you can do it for pretty cheap.
I'm gonna have to watch some YouTube videos today because the Roller Coaster Tycoon was like $2.50 on Steam, and now I'm like, oh, now I have to spend hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of my dollars to be able to play it.
Yeah,
that's great.
But also it just like opens the world, because then we could play like Baldur's Gate together, or like Stardew Valley together.
That's true. And I have Stardew Valley on my Switch, but I don't know if it's
I don't think it's cross-platform, so
thanks a lot, Nintendo.
I'd actually be concerned ape.
Thanks a lot, concerned ape. Anyway,
but yeah, so that's me. And then so I'm sure I'll talk about this next time we record, because then the following weekend, I believe, because next weekend is the weekend of the 4th, isn't it?
Don't say that to me. Is it actually? Wait,
I believe it is, because today is Friday the 27th.
Then you're probably right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then next weekend we leave on Thursday. Me and Taylor, my boyfriend, leave on Thursday to stay in Portland for the weekend, because for some godforsaken reason, the 4th of July is our anniversary. So
can you just like change that?
I'm hoping to.
Can you like be like, oh yeah, I think actually we met on the 5th.
I've told him as soon as we get engaged that's like we're just like gonna disregard the fact that the 4th was ever like emotionally, relationshiply significant to us.
And then you'll be married, and then you'll have a different anniversary.
Exactly, because like the idea of like once we get engaged, then it's like, oh, I'm sure it'll be like, oh, this is the day we got engaged, but like we can just ignore, like we don't have to worry about any anniversary stuff going forward. It'll just be like, then like once we're married, we'll celebrate our wedding anniversary as our anniversary, but then it's be like, oh, we'll do a little ditty for like the day we got engaged, but we can just disregard the 4th as like our anniversary, because it's
just
like
leave that to die.
Every single year it's just like, okay, I want to do stuff. It's just so like there's just so much stuff going on. I almost said worldwide, not worldwide. Anywhere we would want to like feasibly go is like, oh, it's 4th of July weekend, it's the 4th of July, it's either the weekend before or after the 4th of July, like
there's
so I'm ready to just disregard that as a culturally significant part of my life. But
and I understand, here
we are, one more year in. So we're gonna go but yeah, so I am excited for shit to just slow down and like not have anything on the agenda, but yeah,
agreed.
So that's my debrief.
Cool. Media spotlight. As I mentioned, started really wanting to play Roller Coaster Tycoon because I used to play that game a lot when I was a kid. It was my favorite game of all time. Like seriously, I could play that game, and I did. I played that game for hours and hours and hours. The amount of like theme parks I built and then like rammed into the ground financially because I took out like thousands and thousands of dollars worth of loans I couldn't pay back, because there was like
were the loans just like default, like you took them out and you always got them, or was there ever a point where they like wouldn't give you another loan?
I mean, you could get up to the max amount and then they'd be like, we've given
you all of the money.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, so, and I was always in the red, but I was like 8 years old. I didn't understand what that meant.
What the
And there was
fuck are
no,
you
like,
doing?
at least to my knowledge, maybe I didn't know how to access it, but there was no creative mode to just like freely.
Oh, interesting.
And maybe I think there was, but I only wanted to like play in the prefab parks because everything was already built for me, but I had to like maintain them. And I didn't know how to do that. I just wanted to like destroy all the roller coasters and then just like build my own because everything was already set up and that was all the work was done for me.
A space here for a roller coaster, a space here.
Exactly. So yeah, been trying to learn how to get that on my Mac, but it's been this whole fucking process, so I don't know how that's gonna go. And then in terms of other media, I've just been listening to the same music over and over and over again, so like nothing new to report.
Mariah Carey is still that bitch, in case anyone was curious.
There is literally, and like I said before, we will do an episode solely dedicated to Mariah Carey. I could talk about her for hours and hours and hours and hours and days and months and years, because that's been my full-time job since I was like 10. She just released a song with Ariana Grande and Barbara Streisand. So like three generational icons on one track, 4 minutes. Amazing.
Not long enough. I listened to it today and I was like, this is it like brand new? Like when did that come out?
dropped yesterday.
Okay.
Yeah. So
That's crazy. That's crazy. You know what? Good for them.
Good for them. I mean, it's from like Barbara Streisand's new album, and the album is really good. Barbara Streisand sounds amazing.
Girl, work.
Yeah, she's like 83, and her voice sounds incredible. I mean, that's Barbara fucking Streisand. Of course, it's gonna sound good. But like, yeah. So I guess that's my media. I don't think I've been watching anything new. I've just been watching the same like 3 YouTube content things, and then like.
That's valid.
Yeah.
I recently just started the abnormal campaign of the D&D Let's Play podcast from the McElroy Bros, The
Period.
Adventure Zone. And it's really funny. It's really, I think I would recommend it to you if you enjoy listening to D&D. I don't know how much you enjoy that, but it's basically the premise of like the universe of TMNT. Like, so it's called Abnormals because it's basically just like crime fighting anamorphic like animal human hybrids. And
Period.
so it's just very funny and very like kitschy.
Yeah.
I'm only on episode 4, and I do recall seeing stuff from the fandom. I don't even know if that's the right word. It's like a coalition of their fans. That it's not very good, but I'm enjoying myself. Like, I'm
Okay.
enjoying it. Of like, I feel like a lot of people just take it too seriously, where it's like just sitting back and remembering this is 3 brothers and their dad just like playing a game together.
Yeah.
It's just like taking enjoyment from that. Like, just like having a seat at the table.
Let's all bring it down a notch,
Yeah.
please.
So it's really good. It's really fun. It really, really makes me want to play D&D again. I haven't played D&D in like a few months. So, yeah, that's really all I've been listening to.
Okay. I think that's our media.
Leads us into...
Oh, I think you could probably talk about so another part of Media Spotlight is how the universe works. You've been really watching that a lot, right?
Oh, yeah. So this will be like a good segue into, yeah.
Exactly. That's why I brought it up.
A thing I've been watching. I actually finished the series like a week or so ago. And yeah, it's called How the Universe Works, and it's just basically, have you watched it?
I've seen a few episodes of it, yeah.
It's just like basically they just take instances of things that are like unexplained in a way where it's like we do have science, we do have stuff behind it that we can like
Yeah.
have an educated guess as to how and why it's happening, but ultimately is like, oh, we don't really know these things. And it's just so eye-opening. It's just so like, yeah, I was saying this the other day of like, in my non-scientific, non-mathematical brain leading up to watching those shows is that like I'm just like, oh, science is science and facts are facts and that's just how it is. But then realizing, like we said at the start, that like science is just the like continuation of learning, continuation of growth, continuation of figuring out how stuff works. There are certain things that will be like, this is how it is and this is just like how like on earth, but then like looking out at stuff, basically the best way I can articulate this is that like when we're looking at something 45 light years away, 100 light years away, 1,000 light years away, we are making our best guesses because we can't really see that. Like we're observing it from so far away that we're like, from what we can see, this is what we suspect. So yeah, I'm just
That's a good way of putting it.
I'm just like learning that and just being like, that's so fascinating. To then, yeah, another show is NASA's Unexplained Files, which is also, it's less interesting in the sense of it's quite a bit more clickbaity than How the Universe Works, where it's like, just the example that sticks out to me the most is that like one thing, so it's similar in formula of like, oh, here's these things that like, here's genuine cases from NASA or genuine things that NASA has studied or gone out to do that like we don't have a rigid explanation for. And so one is just like, I can't remember if it's Saturn or Jupiter, but one of those moons, like from one of Saturn or Jupiter's moons, has like a huge reading of like electrical currents. So like that's the fact. Like that's like we have recognized that there are like electrical currents going on one of these moons.
Yeah.
And so then NASA's Unexplained Files is like, and what if there are electric aliens that can just eat electricity and are surviving under the core, and if they came here, they could wipe out our whole grid. The way life as we know it would cease to exist.
Period.
What the fuck
like,
is going
shut
on in here
up.
on this
Period.
day?
Like, what?
NASA's Unexplained Files. This is like,
Like, it's just so, but like I feel like the show definitely devolved, where it's like the
Yeah.
first season, the first two seasons are a little bit more like grounded in reality, and then the further on they go, they just do the ancient alien formula of like,
I was about to say, it's very ancient.
because like
aliens.
again, Ancient Aliens deserves to be shit on because of where it's at now, but if you watch like the first season or two of Ancient Aliens, it is just kind of like, oh, this stuff is kind of thought-provoking. Like if you kind of release your inhibition of like, okay, aliens could exist, these are some interesting things that they're pointing out, and they are definitely like, Ancient Aliens is still pretty like, oh, we're positing this theory and it's probably true, but like if you can suspend that and be like, oh, that is just like kind of an interesting thing that's going on, to then devolving into just like lizard people and whatever the fuck they're talking about now. Or even worse, what Ancient Aliens does is just recycle the same shit over and over. Like there's 14 episodes about Roswell, there's like 14 episodes about the moon landing, like. So yeah, basically that was a tangent of like watching these shows. And so, or no, let me go back and say, How the Universe Works is pretty grounded in reality, and there, I don't really have too much to complain about. I'm sure there's like a few instances in that show where you're just like, okay, eye roll kind of moment, but like for the most part is just like, oh, these are things that I haven't thought about or that I didn't really consider not to be just like rigid facts.
Yeah.
But turns out when it comes to space science, there are very few just rigid facts. So.
And I think I remember talking about it with you like last night or the night before or whatever, and you posed the question like, And this got me thinking deeply because it's a question that I used to have a lot too, and it's just something I didn't kind of let go of because I didn't have an answer for it. But you were essentially saying, and correct me if I'm wrong, but like, how can we know that things that we observe here will be able to be applied in other parts of the universe if we cannot go and observe them directly? And I was like, that's such a good question, because I know that we can be reasonably sure that our methods are consistent, but it got me asking, like, okay, how do we know? How is that? And this one response, granted,
Source
our
Reddit.
Ask Science, but someone said, the question, can we be sure the laws of physics hold everywhere else in the universe? And someone said, reasonably sure, yes. When you say universe, what you really have to specify is observable universe, which you touched on, because you were like, we don't know anything past that horizon of how far light is able to travel to us, because of just the way that the universe expands and whatever. If things are different beyond the range that we can see, then we won't likely ever know, which is kind of like oh damn,
Yeah.
that's crazy. With that aside, I think the best argument that can be given is the existence of spectral lines, which is something I learned about in my physics class. When electrons jump between energy levels in an atom, they release protons of a very specific wavelength. In a spectrum, these show up as spectral lines. So if you observe a star, you can deduce what its atmosphere is made out of based on the spectral lines that it's showing you. That's essentially...
And wait, what is this? Sorry, I think I just missed that. What is a spectral line?
When electrons...
A spectral line is the atoms jumping.
The spectral line is the... I'll show you a picture of it. Because the atom jumping is what produces the light, the wave of light, like the photon that shows up on the spectral line. So this is what a spectral line looks like.
Okay.
And we'll throw a graphic on there, but it's basically like, this can be a star, for example. If we observe it and this is what it looks like, we can deduce like this is the type of star that we're looking at based on the amount of elements that are coming out of its atmosphere. And the commenter goes on to say, when electrons jump between energy levels, they release photons of a very specific wavelength. In a spectrum, these show up as spectral lines. Since each element has a different electronic structure, these lines tell you what element you're looking at. It's like a fingerprint. When we look out at the universe, we see these same spectral lines. Furthermore, the strength of these lines indicates the abundance of the element. This is a really deep piece of information. In order to see the same lines, the nuclear forces and the electromagnetic force need to be the same. So if an atom is held together at using different laws of physics, we can deduce that it probably wouldn't release the same kind of spectral line or whatever, if that makes sense.
No, it does. I guess the question mark in my head is just like, we're basing off of the way that we can read something means it's like happening in the same function as it happens here. But like, what if it's just giving off readings that are familiar but don't mean the same things?
Like,
I want to see what you just said written on paper.
Like, if we're witnessing and being like, oh, this reading, if we were to have this reading on Earth, this is what it means.
Mm-hmm.
How do we know that those things aren't just like through space and time being translated differently, for lack of a better term?
I think I get your question. I wish I was an astrophysicist.
And see, I'm posing that not in the sense of like, I'm not believing what that says. That's just like the question mark that sticks of like, okay, that makes sense, as much as my non-scientific brain can make it make sense. But like, how then that we're just like, well, from the readings we would get here, this is what this tells us.
I think, okay, goes on to say, if the nuclear force assembled the nuclei differently in different parts of the universe, then that would somehow make the properties of the atoms different. Remember, the electronic properties are just determined by the number of protons in the nucleus. So protons and neutrons don't change.
Yeah.
You know, the way that an atom is made up is constant, it sounds like. The fact that we see the same lines in distant galaxies as we do in spectra experiments on Earth tell us that the electromagnetic forces at work are the same. These abundances are consistent everywhere you look in the universe, and that abundance is pretty consistent with the abundance of different elements that we find in the solar system. This tells us through history, assuming it was all hydrogen to start with, the same enrichment. Okay, you're kind of losing me here, commenter. Honestly.
So this is kind of jumping.
Sure.
But in the same way, like, I feel like another good example of something that just like blows my mind is that, like, how do we know anything about the Big Bang?
Bazinga.
Like, the Big Bang
Bazinga.
is just a theory that has a lot of evidence to back it up.
Mm-hmm.
But ultimately, like, there was an episode of how the universe works, of like, there's currently, and I believe this came out in like 22 or 23, so like relatively recently, is that there's like 3 going ways to try and calculate the age of the universe. One of them is the more like outdated one that is like the initial way we calculated how old the universe works, but we've come up with other ways to try and calculate how old the universe works, and those numbers don't line up. So it's like, it's not like so they have this first theory and they're like, okay, we think the universe is like, I think it's like 13 something billion years old.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's the second theory of like, oh, let's fact check that, and those numbers weren't the same, and it was something like they weren't drastically different, but they're far off enough that they could, like, scientists couldn't be like, well, that's just like, there's a reason why they don't line up, when both methods are meant to be like factually stringent, like, of measuring something. And then I believe, and I'm blanking because I can't remember what that third one was, but like, yeah, there's like different methods and those numbers like don't line up for how old the universe is. So just like, again, anchoring in the idea of like, oh, these are just best guesses, like scientifically backed guesses, but like just guesses. But then that leads me, and the whole time, like, I've said this out loud to Taylor several times, of just like how old the universe is. Again, this is like, we can only work with what we can observe.
Yeah.
And this is completely watering down what this first method is, but it's essentially just like how far away the oldest star is. Like, the oldest star we can calculate is how we calculated how old the universe is, or like, give or take, like, I think it was like the oldest star and then they went back a little bit, but like that just leads the huge gaping wound of like what we can see.
Yeah.
So like, what if the universe is way older than we thought? It's just so far away we can't see it anymore.
Which is a great question.
So like,
yeah, and the question about the Big Bang is really interesting too, because I think the Big Bang Theory, like,
Bazinga.
Great show.
Great, actually terrible show. That show sucks. Laugh track after every single sentence. Hey, I'm going to the store.
Bazinga.
Laugh track. Okay, Sheldon.
Do you guys want anything?
Like, that would drive me crazy. Imagine you're an NPC, just like.
But it's funny if you imagine them as like real people, and then like that. What if that happened in real life?
Yeah, and I'm like,
huh?
oh, but the theory's been around for years and years and years, and I think as you were talking, I was just doing some light reading. The biggest piece of evidence, I guess, and this evidence is backed up with like formulas, general relativity, blah blah blah. This can be summed up with, we know that the universe is expanding and cooling down, so we can deduce from that at one point it was closer
Yes.
and hotter.
Yeah.
Which would mean, okay, if it's closer and hotter, it doesn't just like, it had to have started, that expansion had to have started somewhere.
Yes.
Right? So I think that's probably what got scientists and physicists to be like, okay, well, let's go to this Big Bang theory.
Yeah.
Because that would be consistent with just how anything that's hot and dense can expand and cool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we see that all galaxies and other large-scale celestial bodies are traveling away from us no matter where we look. We see this movement through what is called spectrographic redshift. If everything is going away now, I guess, and that's simplifying because on a smaller scale, like certain galaxies will collide with each other.
Mm-hmm.
But if you zoom out large enough, things in the universe are relatively homogeneous. There's just like little pockets of like planets and nebula and stuff that are giant on a human scale, but if you like zoom out, they look pretty, consistent and homogeneous. So, and this just gets to the whole like why our feeble little ape brains are, and it's really cool that we as humans can ask these questions and start to like answer, because it really gets to like the whole point of like, okay, well, what's our place? Like where do we come from? How do we fit in to this giant like universe that we find ourselves in? Are we alone? Kind of thing. And no wonder religion popped up, but that's a separate conversation. But we are just so, at this time in our evolutionary history, we're just so like unable to comprehend, like we still don't have like a theory of everything on how we can like merge different like quantum mechanic theories with like gravitational theories, blah blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
So like we're still learning so much, but like just we're never going to be able to like fully understand the scale and the impact and like how big this,
no, literally.
and just because of that we're going to be in the dark about a lot, because there's like dark matter, dark energy, like what the hell does that mean?
Gosh, dark matter
You know?
is just so mind-blowing, because it's literally like the concept of we can't see it, we can't detect it, but there has to be something there.
Mm-hmm.
Because it, like in the sense of we're moving away, like us expand, like it is the, I don't know if it's the not like the cause necessarily, but facilitating the movement of expansion. That's like, oh, so in science there's something you can't see, can't detect, can't read, can't do anything about, other than be like, there has to be something.
Yeah.
It can't be empty.
Yeah.
Like we see it interact, it like, oh, that's what it, like they can read its gravity, like they can watch its impact like gravitationally, but like you can't see it, you can't detect it. Like
I'm gonna send you after we're recording, I follow a few astrophysicists on TikTok, and they talk about what they do in their field, and they also respond to a lot of like science deniers and just like combat like misinformation and stuff, but they do it in a way that makes me, as someone who's like actually curious about it, be like, oh
yeah,
like, that makes
they're
so
like
much
dumbing
sense.
it down for non-believers, but then it's just like, oh, I get it.
Like thank you for explaining that, because that makes so much sense. And now I'm not in the dark over that. So I think I'm gonna try and find their profiles and send them your way, because I feel like you would like their content.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
But yeah, no, if like, I think in another life I would be studying physics or being an astrophysicist, because I find the universe so scary but so cool and so engaging. But that one physics class that I took was just, it was mind-blowing, but it was exhausting.
Oh yeah.
I was like, there's a reason that I'm not studying
as
this
much
right
as I was gonna say, as much as my brain is like a curious brain, and as much as I like enjoy learning about this stuff recreationally, I know my brain's not wired that way. Like it's not wired to like figure this stuff out. It's wired to intake and learn, and so
well, yes. So yeah, there's just so much, and like there's no way that we're alone. Like there are aliens out there. There's an
episode of How the Universe Works where it's just like, yeah, like they're very scientific in the sense of like, in this, I mean, all across the board, but like the way they're talking about aliens is just like very scientific, where it's like it would be illogical to assume we are alone because of how big it is, how much we can't observe, how much we don't see, like all that stuff. And then them positing the fact that it's like, and there's a not low probability that it's just like out of our lifetime, the way evolution works, the way planets change and the way their orbits change, that it's like there could be a planet right now that we can witness and we can get, like we can observe, that used to be viable for life, but just the way that like sunstorms have happened, orbits change, that it's like no longer viable for life. And
like we won't know that until that light reaches us, because the universe is just that big. So like whatever we're seeing, at least with whatever we're seeing and observing up in the sky, that is happening however many light years away. Yeah, that's how long. Exactly. Because we could be seeing a planet, 5 million light years away, or whatever, like a universe or a galaxy 5 million light years away. 5 million years is a long time for things to happen to a species, for extinction events to happen, for blah blah blah. No, literally. So like the light that we're emitting into the universe, like at this time right now, maybe a planet or an alien species somewhere out there isn't going to be able to see it until like our universe will be gone because the sun expanded so much. Humans are only like 500,000 roughly. We've been around like the entire human species, which like that's even so that gets into, because like then there's been hominids before us. Like so it's just like the idea of just making a big blanket of like less than 1 million years of like humanoid activity on this planet is like the blink of an eye in space. Yeah, is like just a flash when you're talking about 13 billion years. Yeah. And so just the concept, like, so this isn't necessarily the same in the idea of like we are close enough and we have observed it now, like here in 2020, almost said 2026, 2025, that like I could be like this again, I'm not speaking like a rigid fact, but I have a feeling we probably would have seen something. But the concept of like even something so close to us, Mars, was viable for life. Like again, that's what I'm saying, is I think we would probably be able to observe, like we've had rovers down there, we can get close enough, we can get stuff close enough that it's like we would probably see evidence of if there was like hominid like life forms going on at any point. But even still, just the idea of like that, like very close, our neighbor of like, we look and see this red barren desert planet, and at one point it was blue, and at one point it had water, and it probably had some form of life, like even if it's just like microbial life, like it had something that could have then in the same way that we started out as microbial life, like that's where. So it's like stuff like that where you're like, oh, if something would have not happened or happened to Mars, like there could have been humans on Mars. Just it was us instead. Yeah. Like yeah. So just little, like, I feel like Mars is a good example of like, I'm not putting on my tinfoil hat and being like, oh, there's probably people under the surface of Mars. Like we've observed Mars enough that like there's probably stuff we haven't figured out about. I'm not saying we know everything about Mars, but like the big obvious things, like there would be, I don't know though, in the sense of like timeline wise of like if
every single person just this is hypothetical because this wouldn't be how it happens, but like if every single person just like Thanos snapped out of existence, how long would it take for the earth to then like reset itself, where there's like no obvious evidence of life, like there's no buildings left, there's no like.
There was a show on History Channel or like some channel that kind of explored that question.
I think I know what you're talking about, but I thought that was more of like natural disaster stuff.
I think we might be thinking of different shows, but it was like, I wish I remember the show, but it was basically like if humans just poofed away.
Oh yeah.
What would the earth be like? How long would it take for a civilization to erase itself? And it would take a long time.
Yeah.
But again, in the blink of in the scale of like cosmic universal time, nothing.
And like also the concept of like, again, like not even trying to zoom it out so far, but just like even just civilized human beings have been like about 10,000 years, right?
I mean, it really depends on how you describe or how you define civilized. Like our modern industrialized like societies have been around for 200 or 300 years, and our globalized world, our interconnected, economically intertwined world, hasn't really been around longer than the end of World War II.
Yeah, but I guess I'm trying to talk about like the whole cradle of civilization stuff.
Oh, right.
Like,
yeah,
that's about 10,000.
Yeah,
years.
in the thousand.
Yeah. So, but my point being is that like we didn't even start like even just using that. I don't think that was like initial. I don't think that was like right away, but even just using that as like a big enough buffer that it happened some point after that is that like it's been only a couple thousand years that we've even like looked up.
Yeah.
Like we've even been like, oh, I'm kind of curious. Not to say that when we were hunters and gatherers and nomads that people weren't like looking up and observing the sky, but like any concept of like studying the skies has been only a few thousand years, like a very small time. To then zoom in even a little bit more is that like, yeah, it's only been a few hundred years that we're even like
we've had telescopes
exactly we can then like take it the step further of being like, oh, we want to act on these observations, like we want to study more. So it's like such a literal in the scope of like space-time, a literal blink that we've even been looking up. So it's like, yeah. So all that to say is that then that's just something that like blows my mind of like, what if Mars like was different? Even just like when humans were around, we just like weren't there to observe it yet. Yeah. And like not saying that it was like blue or anything. Like it takes hundreds or millions of years to like completely change a biome of a planet. But like, yeah, it's just that we don't know much. Like even though it feels like here in the year 2025 we are like studying space and we have a good foot forward. We do have a good foot forward, but like we just don't know. Yeah. We don't know. And yeah, because we're still so young just in our own. I mean, it seems like we've come such a long way because we have, and our society has. Exactly. That's a good way to put it. Like we have, and it feels like we've come so far. But when you really like plot it out on a timeline, it's literally nothing. And we have, barring any self-inflicted extinction events that we may or may not find ourselves in, we have a long way to go in terms of, which is really exciting. And just strictly looking at scientific progress, I mean, there could be a lot of things that happen to our species in terms of just reverting back to tribalism, or which I don't think will happen because that's generally not how the trajectory has looked. Things will change, but there will in some way, shape, or form, just because that's what we do as human beings. Like we will incorporate science into our, even if it's against the societal norms at whatever time, we still will be observing and making observations. So science will progress in some way, shape, or form. It just might not be like
state supported or
Yeah.
like government supported, but like human beings are still going to be like still going to be asking questions and still
Yeah.
going to be like, and we have all of this previous knowledge to go off of. It's not like we would be starting from literally
Exactly.
zero. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens in
But it is
1,000, 10,000 years.
And like, yeah, just going off what you said too, like barring us doing it ourselves and making ourselves go extinct,
Yeah.
is that like it's also just so humbling to remember that like anything could happen, because it's like
Yep.
we're far off. We're like, isn't it like 1 billion years away from like the heat death of like the sun exploding? Because like, again, that's the other thing that's just crazy, is that like, not really talking about this, but just like the fact of the matter is that like one day our sun is just going to explode. Like
Yeah.
our sun is going to not even explode, it's just going to go into the next iteration of what a star does, the next step of being a star. And that's it.
And then
like,
our atmosphere will burn off.
Exactly.
And then it'll be engulfed into the.
But
new
even, and so that to say, I know, or I believe that that's like 1 billion, like that's a far ways away.
Yeah.
The sun can just flare at any time.
Yep.
Like we're close enough that if the sun does anything out of what we are suspecting it to do, but like all that, like we've observed other star systems where the sun just kind of burps, is what they call it, on how the universe works, where it's just like, oh yeah, it's just kind of, there's stuff going on, there's a buildup of gases and it just needs to like let it out.
Yeah.
And we could be like, yeah, so this is all kind of roundabout, because this does happen. This happens like pretty regularly, or not even pretty regularly, but this does happen. It just happens where it hasn't affected the earth yet. But it could happen in the right spot, or in the wrong spot, however you look at it, that it just like, we are in the line of the path. And we do just get a huge solar flare that completely fucks with our atmosphere, completely changes how we work. That it's like, we are at the mercy of the star. Like we literally are only able to exist because of that one thing that is so numerous and so out there, and we can observe so many different ones.
Yep.
That if something happens to that star,
Yeah. Yeah.
kaput.
We have like little to no control over. Actually, I'd say no control over
None.
how at least how the star works.
Yeah.
Like we are at the behest of the sun and what it does, because like there was a solar storm like a couple hundred years ago that like completely wiped out at least part of our electrical grid, our very weak brand new electrical grid, mind you, and now we have like safeguards, but like the sun is still, it's predictable, but there are still aspects of it that we can't really account for in a lot of ways. And there could be like an electrical magnetic storm that like just completely takes everything
Exactly.
that we just like be like, all right,
Yeah.
looks like we have to.
And it would
work
be
with this.
like, there's something about where like we would literally only have like a few days, because we could see that it's coming, like we could like read and observe that like, oh, something's coming towards us from the sun, but we're so close to the sun that it would be like a week that we would be like, okay, we see it coming, by the way, guys.
Yeah.
And so yeah, it's just really wild to think about how it's just humbling. Like, it's just like I can understand why people long ago, without the aid of science, would be like, oh, we are the center of the universe. Like, how could this happen?
Of course.
How could this have happened if we're not here?
It makes so much sense why we as humans would like immediately come to that conclusion, and then why people were literally like executed for saying otherwise.
Yeah.
Until like 100, 200 years later, where they were like, oh,
Ooh,
actually,
sorry.
wait, you were kind of right. My bad.
Yeah.
My bad.
So
Yeah.
anyway,
Universe is actually insane, actually crazy, and I wish we had more time to talk about it, because we're kind of closing up on our time here, but
we'll revisit.
We will revisit, because I'm not a religious person at all, but I definitely I guess I always considered like my higher power to be like the processes of the universe.
Yeah.
And like how I am nothing but also everything.
Yes.
That's so like woo woo. But
so woo woo.
anyway,
I'm not religious, I'm spiritual.
I'm spiritual.
Conclusion.
Ooh, this is a good one. Would you rather live without music or live without TV? This is a hard ass question.
TV, then we're gonna encompass like all YouTube, like any like watching something on a screen versus listening to something with no visual.
Yeah. I know what my answer would be. That's difficult, but I would have to choose.
Yeah, this is a hard one.
Well, I'm going to go first because I already know.
Okay.
I would rather live without TV.
I had a feeling you were going to say that.
I mean, I love music too much. Music's been a part of my life for too long.
What if there's music on the TV? You have to like turn it off.
Smack cam.
Oh, is that a loophole?
Like, I'm not even trying, but it's just like there's so much music on TV where it's like there's theme music. Like even if you're just watching a show, there's like theme songs. Like
if the main
Phineas and Ferb, they have a song in the middle of every episode. So.
I would say that doesn't count as music because the main thing you're putting on is the show that has a song in it.
Yeah.
If I'm consuming a piece of media, it has to be the music first.
Yeah.
And I've been trying to get less screen time anyway, so I feel like if a gun was put to my head, I would have to go with music just because I get more creatively out of listening to music and
I feel that
being involved with music. So
I would have to say TV mostly just because I can't be alone with my own thoughts, and music, while there's plenty of music out there that is like thought provoking, is just like if I was only able to distract myself from my thoughts with music, I don't think I'd be able to do that as efficiently as I would be knowing that I could just like watch something and like.
So you would.
It's more of like the escapism, I would say, is a better way to put it. Where it's like it would be easier for me to escape into a TV or like watching something versus escaping into like listening to something.
You could live without music.
Yeah,
is what you're saying. Okay, respect.
And again, like I said, not even trying to loophole, but like, especially because so much media outside of just specifically music incorporates music. Like, so it's not like my life would be devoid of like song.
Right. Yeah.
So
you would still get some like if the song comes on the TV if you're watching, it's not like you have to be like yeah. So I get that. Cool. That's great answers.
Good question.
And I already know my manifestation, and it's pretty specific, but my manifestation is I will conquer DaVinci Resolve, the video editing software, and I will be editing social media videos because I already have one set up and ready to go in terms of editing, and I will be watching YouTube videos to figure it out, but and I also will be figuring out how to build my own PC. That's because I really want to do that.
Those are good manifestations. I have no idea.
Right.
I know a manifestation that I'm going to get rectified after I leave this establishment is that I really need to go get my oil changed. So
that's a good manifestation.
I'm going to do that like right now because I have to drive to Seattle.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, great.
I mean, aside from that, I don't think this is going to happen right now, and I know they're going to judge me for it because they'll probably look at them. I really need new windshield wipers. Mine are just like literally broken, like literally defunct attached to my car. But
one thing that I have to manifest is I have to clean the inside of my window shield, which is my window shield, my windshield.
I mean, that's what it stands for.
I
didn't know you were such a man of academia. Window shield.
My window shield in which it shields me from the wind.
Girl, what the fuck is you talking about?
That part.
So, yeah.
No shout out. Womp womp. You guys suck. You suck.
This is actually kind of crazy, and I never thought I would say I hate my fan base, but I hate my fan base. My the 10 people that regularly listen to this show.
And honestly, at this point, I'm convinced no one's even watching. No one's even watching.
In the sense that, you know what I mean?
We might get some views and we might get people listening. I'm convinced there's not one person that's shouting off in these comments.
Because there's no one watching.
You can even comment on Spotify. Like, you can comment on other places. I think the only places I don't think there's like a comment mechanism on Apple Music or on iTunes.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you can comment on Spotify. You can comment on YouTube. You can.
2
out of the 3 places we upload this, you are able to comment. I don't think you're listening. I don't think you're still here.
No.
If you're still here, prove me wrong.
Please.
Sound off. Just literally type anything. You could type anything.
Just key smash.
If you don't have an answer to the question, just type anything.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's my rant. Like and subscribe.
If
you are still here.
Yeah. We would love
like and subscribe.
This should be a full-time job for us, and it's not. So
I know. 6 months. Pff,
how fucking
what the
dare
fuck?
you? This is actually crazy, and I need to talk to my manager about it.
Yeah. So anyway,
thanks for tuning in. We hope
thanks
we
for being
inspired
here, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Love
Bye.
you.
Mwah, 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 mwah.
Mwah.